Ever wonder what it's like to live in a cozy New England cottage? Join us as we transform our simple ranch home into a comfy cottage. Each week, we work towards improving, maintaining, and beautifying our home and garden, all on a tight budget. Well, hello there.
Hi there.
Welcome back. Where the heck have we been?
We've been away. Well, we've been here, but...
We've been here. I wish we were on some fabulous vacation. But, well, for the past 2 weeks... Has it been 2 weeks?
No.
No.
No, it hasn't.
It's been over a week.
Just
it feels like 2 weeks. But for the past week... so we're a week late, I should say. So it's kind of close to 2 weeks. I don't know what this guy's saying. It's been close to 2 weeks. But anyway,
Yes, it has.
Paul and I are over 50, and we kept putting it off. We finally did it. We got our shingle shot.
Shingle shot.
One of the things of being older. Wow, did it knock us out. So we had quite a bit of recovery. So, and we've heard the second round
dose.
can be a little bit worse. Oh,
Yeah.
good. But I definitely would have done it either way, despite, because I do not want shingles. So
Right.
that's a quick little thing. So that was part of why we've been away.
Setback.
But also,
We're feeling fine now, by the way.
we're feeling great.
Just had a little bit of recovery from
Yes.
from the vaccine.
Yes, and I've had also on top of that, I have a lot of medical issues. So I had kind of a setback from that was totally separate from that, so that was really hard. And what the heck's going on here? We're getting a ton of rain lately. So anyway, all of that and different things going on in our lives put us off. So we had a week off, not intentionally. We didn't intend to have a vacation, we just had to.
Yeah.
So on that note, what else have we been doing? Also, what kept us away a little bit, holy cow, we've been busy.
Yeah.
We didn't even do our whole house yet, but what did we do?
Well, we did a lot of Christmas decorating. That's right. The season is upon us. It's a little bit early, maybe a little bit, but we find that because there's so much to do, it's easier to get it done earlier. That way, when the holidays are here, we're not scrambling around to get last minute things done. We have more time for just enjoying the holidays. So we get our Christmas decorating done a little bit early.
Yeah.
And we learned that through the years, because back in the past we would start everything after Thanksgiving, and it just makes December really busy and stressful. So
We don't have that, I don't know what's the word for it. We don't have that motivation anymore. Like when we were younger, we have motivation, but it's not like that energy, I want to say.
Right.
We don't have the energy we used to have. So because of that, we've had to
pace ourselves.
We really have to pace ourselves.
Yeah.
And I know it's very frustrating to go into stores in July and August. I'm not that early, but in July and August, that's upsetting to me too, when it's like, really? I mean, we're going into Halloween stuff and then Christmas stuff, and it's even Christmas stuff is out at that time. We're not that early, but we want to pace ourselves because it does take us a long time, and we want it done right. So, but here's the thing. It wasn't just decorating. We found some cool pieces, and we thought, what the heck, we'll throw it in the video with it, and again, while healing and all that. So it took us a long time. That's why we've been away.
We're finishing furniture too, along with decorating. So yeah, we've been a little busy.
Yeah. So we found these 2 great pieces, and so normally we would do an intro and say, this is what we're doing this week, because it was such an off, week and a half or, close to 2 weeks, whatever it was, and finding pieces and working on that and all these things mishmashed into one thing. Yeah. It took us time, but normally we would do it ahead of time, the intro, but we're doing it now because so we've already done all this.
We've already done all the work.
Right. So we're doing it now because we still want to have a conversation with you, but give you a kind of a preemptive thing of what's going on. Yeah. I don't even know how to word that.
Preamble? Preview. No?
Yeah.
Something like that.
So we're kind of giving you a preview of what's going on.
Yeah.
So we were finished a couple pieces of furniture, not too far from here. We had seen on Facebook Marketplace, there was literally down our road someone was had an estate sale and there were some pieces left and they were
Leftovers.
giving them away for free. And one of them was like, maybe. And one of them was like, oh, that's cute. So we have these 2 new pieces. I'm very excited. I love a challenge. I get really excited. Not sure I'll ever stop liking challenges. I might stop liking doing them, but I absolutely love these challenges. And we did some really cool things with those pieces. We didn't change them up anyway. We just, in the sense that we didn't make them into new things. We just we just refinished them. But they look great. We did add some things to one of them. I don't want to tell you what they are. I just want you to see them. And also we thought, let's decorate downstairs. So we're ready. So that's our video for this week.
Yes.
A lot of decorating, some refinishing of a couple things, a little added touches, a little crafty type situation of things for well, we did our village. That's always the first
village.
thing. Yeah, it's always the first thing we do, and we do it differently every year.
Every year. I'm excited with some of the new things we've done with our Christmas village this year.
Yeah.
We had a breakthrough of ideas of making mountain ranges and those kind of things that very cheap and easy and came out fantastic. Really happy about that. So watch and see if you're looking for inspiration for your own village or just enjoy the view. But it came out really well, I think.
I think so. I can just sit there for hours and watch the village. I love it so much. But it's a fun conversation piece when we have a gathering. We are having a gathering this Christmas holiday, and it's just something to share with everyone. But we love looking at it too.
Yeah.
So it really got us through the awful pandemic years when we were stuck inside. It gave us something to look at and get excited about, and it's been going on before that. But I really got into it during that time, and I love doing it now more and more. We don't get more extravagant. We don't really do anything crazy. We haven't like added to it in any way.
It takes up enough space as it is, so we can't really add much to the village, but we always change it up.
Yeah. So that. So we did that and did some other decorating. We do get a real tree, so we won't do that until Thanksgiving weekend for our main tree. But we do have a faux tree for downstairs, which we found for free. Last year, maybe the year before, I don't know, but we love it. So we've done those projects. I don't think we're missing anything, are we?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So, come on.
Let's do this.
Come on over and let's see what we do.
Yeah, enjoy.
Enjoy.
These are those 2 pieces of furniture we picked up from Facebook Marketplace. Just giving them a quick sand so we can get them ready for a refinishing.
Okay, so we're going to now paint these. This is a faux wood. Well, this one is. This one I believe is real wood. So what we're going to do is, I think I'm going to forgo the primer. I'm going to see if that works out okay, just because I'm lazy. And I'm going to we're going to paint these legs black, and I'm going to paint most of this black, but the very top here, and then these 2 round the shelf here and the one on top, I'm gonna stain those, but this one's fake wood, this one isn't. So we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do. I wanna just give you an update on the coffee table. The coffee table we did 2 weeks ago. I want you to know that while we were doing it, just wasn't curing properly. I think we were a little heavy-handed on the treatments. So what I'm going to do is probably re-sand those, touch them up, sand them, and then I guess figure it out from there. We may just stain it, we may do something else. I just was very disappointed. So it really was coming out like I wanted it, but unfortunately it just wasn't curing properly. Now it's starting to come off. It was very tacky still a couple weeks later, or I want to even say 3 weeks later. So I got to redo that too. So I want to be careful when I do these. The problem is I was too heavy-handed on the back and forth with the paint and the stain, but also stain has to grip to something. It has to soak into the wood. So when you do it with paint, it can work. It has before for me. I don't think I prepped it properly. And then you really want it to dry so you can polyurethane. We never got to polyurethane it because it really has to dry. So that was really frustrating. And I was saying to you that, well, we're going to polyurethane it, and we just couldn't. We just never got to. I just want you to say I'm drying out my little jack-o'-lanterns. That stone technique on the plastic one started to come off because we had some really torrential downpours and whatnot. So even with protecting that, still was doing that. So that's an update too. But they're drying out so I can put them away and deal with them next year for the next fall season. But now we're getting ready. As you can see, we started decorating for downstairs, and I'm going to work on these tables. This will be on the back, so I'm probably going to stain this when I do this. I'm not going to even bother doing this, just because no one will really see it anyway. I think our next investment is a paint sprayer. It'd be so much easier to go through this if we could just spray this. One of my next investments. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm doing my wash in the background. I know there are some wood purists out there, and I totally understand that it's upsetting to see someone painting wood. This is terrible wood, just so you know. And it really just needs a facelift. And there's not something where I can just refresh it. There's too many nooks and crannies, and especially with the legs here, it's just too intricate. And also, it's a certain type of wood where it almost seems like it's faux wood. It is wood, but it's just a wonky thing. And trust me, it's gonna look great. And honestly, it's for my style, and it was free. So obviously do however you want to do it. Just for me, particularly my style, I just really didn't like it. I think it's gonna look great when it's finished for me. So apologies to those who may really be upset that I'm painting wood. If you can hear me over my washing, I'm going to use a painter's brush for the real close parts to the wood, so it doesn't go over onto where I want to stain. Just does a more precise. I might even just finish it with that for now. You can use whatever you want. I have in particular a fan brush right now, which is working for me, but whatever you have, and it's what I had that seemed to work best. I'm just using the same fan brush to just get the edges. I want to have the edges black as well. I'm not doing any of the underlayment yet, because I don't know if I'm going to bother. It all depends when I see it come together, if it feels like it needs it, if it'll be easily seen. It's so dark under there, and I don't think it matters, but if I feel like it's going to be an issue, I will paint it. I love owls, and this beautiful owl picture we had grabbed from a tag sale, oh gosh, a few years ago, and I absolutely am in love with this picture. Whoever painted it, it's so beautiful. It really looks like a photograph. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is, I love this painting, but I don't feel like buying a frame for it, and doing the right way to do it would be to maybe do like a shadow box frame. Just not in my budget right now, but also I just don't feel like having it really super gaudy and whatnot. I like that it's simple, but I would rather have better edges. So Paul's going to make me a frame where it's going to be attached to the frame. There's no like setting it in anything. I just think it's going to make it look much more elevated. So if you're looking to do something like that and do it a little more simplified, this would be a nice elevated version. So don't mind the background noise, because I am running a fan right now to help these dry quickly, and they're drying very nice and quickly. So what I'm going to do is do the stain now. We've done 2 coats of paint, and I think they're holding up well. We'll see through time. It's very possible I may even put like a matte polyurethane on it just to protect it.
So I'm just putting in these telephone poles where I'm going to string some lights on them shortly. And we're going to cover the bases up with some snow so we won't be able to see those, hopefully. That's the plan anyways. So I stained these to look kind of like telephone poles, and I didn't stain the base so that we could camouflage them better in the snow. These are just whatever dowels I had on hand. I think they're 3/4 inch. I probably would have gone with a narrower one, but this is all I had, so that's what I used. And the bottom is just a piece of Luan. I've got one of these battery powered fairy lights. So I'm going to string these on those telephone poles.
So we wanted to have a street type of situation where it looked like where you see on main streets of different towns, you would see the lights stringing across on telephone poles or some type of pole of some kind. So it would look like the street is lit up. And with the fairy lights, he's just ringing it around the poles, but we're leaving the base with the batteries towards the front, and we'll bury it under fake snow, just so it'll be easily accessible. We wouldn't want to have to reach across the village and knock things over. So we're going to keep it buried, but we'll know where it is, so it's an easy off and on. So I wanted to show you with the light on so you can kind of see better. I am hoping you got the gist of it and the beauty of it with the lights off, but sometimes it comes out differently on camera. So I'm going to do it in the light, show you, and I want to point out a few things, just in case I haven't mentioned it before. So this picture was picked up for free on the side of the road. Someone was getting rid of, it was like a moving thing. They were moving and they left a bunch of stuff out. And normally I don't know if we would have picked this up, but something made us pick it up, and it kind of worked well because it has a battery in the back and a switch on the side so you can turn it on and off, but it looks like these little glistening lights on the trees, and I thought, oh, that would be a great background for the village. So I'm happy we got that. We have a little bit of a noisy pond. It's the skaters here. It's still lovely, but it makes a loud cranking sound, so we just, you know, kind of have to deal with it, but it's kind of, you don't really care because it's so lovely. So we have all these cute little flashing lights. We always try to do it a little different every year, and a little bit wonky on some of these trees here. That's okay. Isn't that like nature, isn't it? So, as if you remember, Paul was saying he made these lights. So I'm thinking about whether I want to add little wreaths here to hide some of the cords on the ends. And also I think it'll look really pretty, like a town would do. And you know, there's going to be a little bit where it's off because you can only stretch it so much, but we did the best we could, and I think it came out really great. And if you remember, we were saying these streets here were old tile that we had put up on our kitchen floor where it looks like wood, but it has like gray with some white kind of mixed in, almost like a whitewashed, gray washed wood. And I love that because it looks like the street is covered in snow. But these thin strips here was Paul's idea because we were looking for what we would do for a street. I can't really do asphalt shingles. I can't really do that because I actually have an allergy to black tar and asphalt and things like that because of the latex, all that kind of stuff. So I have to be very careful with the materials, but that would have probably been ideal. But this kind of works. I really like it. So now I'll be doing that every year for our streets for a while. And we made, like, if you remember years ago when I made a village, we always try to change it up. We had made this, it looked like a circular styrofoam, and we had attached it to a piece of wood, and inside I made it like water, tried to get it to look like water. So eventually I will epoxy it, but we made like a little island in the middle. And as you remember, we were making this mountain out of this brown paper that comes in a lot of packages. And we had crunched it up, and we even kind of crunched up and put some behind it as well to kind of bump it out, and left it wrinkly, and then we painted it. We didn't do any paper mache. We didn't do anything fancy or too many steps. The paint makes it stiff, so that helped a lot. Plus we had tucked some paper inside it as well to make like the rock boulders and little bumps. And we put little skiers here. I have a lot of pebbles. You can actually find these river rock and petals anywhere in the forest, out in the woods, and your property, but it's kind of a combination for us. We did that, but also from Dollar Tree you can find bags of river rock in the aisles. So that was really great. So we had that. So it kind of lines, so it hides sharp lines and any kind of hindrances that you don't want to see, but it makes it look so much more finished. Here we have these pieces where it kind of stops, so I put rocks at the end so you don't have this sharp edge where you see like just it stops. So here it almost makes it look more natural, like it almost keeps flowing. It seems continuous that way. Our town common here, town hall. And I can't believe I never discovered it before, but this lighthouse that we had gotten from a church sale many years ago, along with our, it was either that or from my aunt or somewhere we had gotten it from, but we had this one piece, and I never knew there was a spot to put a light in, so we lit it up this year. I was very excited about that. The more you can light up, the prettier it is in the dark. Just lovely. And we always do some sort of a home neighborhood here somewhere. And this was our neighborhood this year. Some are actually houses. Sometimes you can make them look like houses. We wanted with the paper, these by the way are on top of upside down boxes. When you combine the two, we wanted it to look like, we have it continued here, but there was a little tear here so we could actually make it look like a cave. So we wanted to put some of our animals as if they were coming out of the cave or going in the cave. The bridge on top there. I do notice some of the trees are a little wonky, but we're going to leave it because isn't that nature? Some topple over. A little snowball fight here.
A lot of these little pebbles, and there's some mulch in different areas, like right here there's some mulch, there's some little white stones. Those are from my aunt when she was done doing a village. I should probably ask her where she got those, but that was pretty neat. Anywhere you can get pieces of villages, you can probably find pieces like that. But that's in the light, so you can see it a little bit more. Hopefully I'm capturing all the details here. So every year we try to incorporate some new things. We try to reinvent how we do it, and it's always set up just slightly different. And this is this year's idea. And I think I caught all the new stuff. You remember, if you recall, if you've been with us for a while, we had a different mountain setup that we made a couple of years ago, and we had it for a couple of years up. But we wanted to change it out and make it less encumbering. The one thing is too, it's very hard to store these things. So even this year, this will be taken down. This is a 1 year only, and we'll redo it unless we can find a way to store it, and we'll redo it again next year. And it was really, really super easy to do. So you can just do this again. We get subscriptions from Grove and Thrive and things from Amazon all the time. So we always have boxes around, various sizes. We can even make it taller 1 year. And obviously that brown paper I was saying to you, that came in the packages. That was easy enough to crumple up and add that. We have craft paints and regular paint all the time around the house. That's always easy to make. It's very, very easy project. And like I said, these were pieces of tile. If you ever do things on your floor, if you do a village, save pieces like that. And the pebbles, I was letting you know where I got these river rock. This was Dollar Tree. These were fairy lights that I ordered on Amazon. In fact, I'm not sure if it's Amazon or I got them from Dollar Tree, because they do sell them at Dollar Tree. They might be. I bought them last year. So that's great. And Paul, we had extra dowels and pieces of Luan, so he made these poles and stained them. This fiber fill is easy to find in just about any store, as well as that sprinkled faux snowflakes. You can find that anywhere. And like I said, that was from Free on the Side of the Road. But I'm sure you can find that just about anywhere. So I think we showed everything and everything new here, but hopefully you enjoy this year's village. Every year we'll probably do this until we just get tired of doing it. I can't imagine. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun, and we really enjoy the final result. It's really cool. So like I said, the only thing left to do, and I will show you that if I get it done in time, is I really think I want to add maybe some wreaths or greenery so it hides the wires, but also it looks like maybe in the town they would do that. They would have these wreaths hanging from the poles to decorate it further. But otherwise, we're finished. Just so you know, another note, I use these white tablecloths that I always have on hand, and I like it like this, so it almost looks like snow coming down the mountain, but underneath it is a white plastic tablecloth that we have going around that we got from the Dollar Tree for $1.75. And yes, those prices are going up, folks, so even though it's still affordable, they are going up. But that's underneath, so we can hide cords in the emptiness of the tables. But also, these are just white sheets. We have a fitted one, which is how we can get this little look, and then it kind of attaches under and kind of holds. And then we have some loose sheets, and then we have tablecloths. So it kind of works out where we can get this hopefully billowy, snowy effect. We hope you enjoy it. So this was an exciting piece Paul had found for free. I'm not sure if we mentioned that already, but it was fine. It's not one I would normally have even given a second thought about, but he brought it home anyway. An old woman sadly had passed, and she had some free things, and her friend was doing that for her, and hope we're giving it the respect it deserves, because I really love how it turned out. But the casters on the bottom were kind of cheapy casters, so we had bought from Amazon for $13 something. It was under $14. We had bought a 4-pack of these more ball casters, and they lock, which is even better being a bar cart, and also they're bronzed on the cover on top. But this here, all we did was paint it black. The knobs that came with it, we just spray painted with a gold paint that we had here on hand. We bought it at Walmart. Sorry to say I don't remember the price, but it was probably around $10, 9 something. But anyway, the top here, all we did was we had sanded the whole thing, and we painted all of this black. And the top we had just put a dark stain on. Dark walnut was the color. stain. So we had done that after we sanded it, and then it's a matte polyurethane. So that's how that came out. We love how it came out. So we're just going to put something on top. We're going to have a family gathering for the Christmas holiday. So what we're going to do is leave it here in front of the village, just because we have little ones coming and we just don't want to knock things over. And also, it's just in this room, even though it's the whole expanse of the house, it is still a small cottage. And when you start furnishing things and you have little things set up here and there, especially with our village here, it does take a lot of space up from the basement. So this kind of tucked over here gives us a little nook between the tables where we can still look at the village, and then we can have a little setup for a little punch, maybe some things for the kids underneath. It'll work out. And it keeps a little bit of a barrier between this and the village, and it's a really cute background for the bar cart. So I'm just going to dress it up with things we already have. This little nook, we had a lamp that we've already had on hand for a while, so we created a little nook over here. I have a basket with pine cones, and we had a townwide tag sale like we do every year in the fall, in September. It's a Labor Day weekend, and a person I know and adore, she has beautiful taste, and she had these gorgeous glass red ornament balls, huge. So I placed one in here and with the pine cones and created this little nook area near the fireplace that, if you've been with us for a while, Paul had created. This owl picture I've had for a while. I wanted Paul to make a frame for that. I'll go a little closer. I love how it turned out. It just looks more professional now with the frame around it. This is this cozy little nook that we created over here. I really love how it turned out. This table right here, the same place we found the bar cart, we found from that very sweet woman who had really beautiful timeless pieces that just needed a new home. They had an estate sale, and these were the leftovers, and they were giving everything away for free at the end. And I'm so thrilled that we found these beautiful pieces. They will be loved. And this was cool because it was a 2-tier table, and it looked like a faux wood, but it was actually most of this is real, but I think the 2 tops here on this are faux wood. But we had sanded everything, stained the 2 circle tops, and then everything else was painted black, and the bar cart is somewhat similar. And then this beautiful black vase, it was like an urn style with the top. We had taken the top off. It was outside all summer, did fine, but we brought it inside, and all I did was terracotta, and I'm not a big super fan of terracotta, not that I don't like it, but it's very specific for me, and this was just too orangey. So we had cleaned it off, and lightly, very light sandpaper, very fine sandpaper, I lightly sanded it down, and then I painted with black paint, and it was an exterior paint, but I had done that and mixed some sand in with it, so it would give like a really rough pottery feel. It's something you would find in a high-end store, and we got it, I believe, for $10 at an estate sale, so we were really thrilled about that. I kept the mantle very simple this year. Normally I add lights. This time I just wanted it to have a very homey feel downstairs here, and it's a red and green family theme this year. And we have a red cardinal in honor of my husband's mother, who just recently passed this year. And she loved all kinds of wildlife and birds and animals. She was a lover of nature, and one of her things she always commented on was the red cardinal. So in honor of her, we have the red cardinal, which we've had for a while, but we placed it here in honor of her. And we have this whole setup here, that rug we had here before we put back. Not quite the look I was going for with the rug, but until I find something better, we're going to have that there. And we have a little nook here, and here's our faux tree here. We found that for free, a really nice upper class neighborhood in the area had I guess, was moving and had gotten rid of this tree. We were so excited. There were lights attached. There was a section where the lights weren't working, so we just added a strand. These red berries were from a friend of mine who had the tag sale this fall, and she had these along with the glass ornaments and also these red ball ornaments. So we placed that, and again with the red and green theme. This is our more family-friendly, homey tree, and that one is down here. This piece was my grandmother's, and she had gifted me these, and they were left to me when she had passed, and I treasure it. This is one, and we have a buffet upstairs. I did paint it. Hopefully she's looking down happily and not upset that I painted over it, but I really love the style of it now more, as it was a little more traditional before. But we have just some things from the Dollar Tree, which I love changing these out, but I left these kind of shiny here because, again, I'm going for a certain look down here with the greens and reds and a little splash of gold, but also a little homier. So I'm getting a little flashier and family down here. And then we have that I had found at the Dollar Tree last year. They're still there. I did notice them this year, and they're slightly different. I think they still have the sitting ones, but they also have some standing ones. And then we have some pieces in here that I already had in there, and I just added little touches for Christmas, just to decorate that. And I just want to say that we just add little touches here and there. This is another hutch style. It's an old bureau of my grandmother's. We had removed this drawer. We had a basket in there for a while, but I keep all my photo albums and whatnot in here. We have a pile of stuff we're getting ready for Christmas, so we have things stacked up there. But they're all kind of houses all our DVDs. This hutch piece, this top hutch piece, did not come with this bureau. This was my grandmother's bureau that we did take on from her when she was gone. But this piece here was a free piece someone was getting rid of on Marketplace, and we grabbed it because we added it to the bureau, and you can make like an instant hutch. But basically just little touches here and there, winter berries. On the bar area here that we made few months ago in one of our videos, we show how we did this little nook here with a bar. I do keep a jug of water here just in case when we're downstairs. We have a mini fridge, and we have just a little setup for the bar here. My aunt had given me, oh gosh, maybe 7 years ago, or maybe 5 years ago. We were given this little metal and wood tea light holder, which was neat. You can put it on a table. I put it here on the bar, and I had some faux greens and some little pieces of picks that we can have with berries and whatnot, and I just added that to it. And there's some tea lights. I think I'm missing a tea light. No, there's tea lights in there. Tea lights. This is a cool idea. If you have like a really big vase, you can add, if you have corks, I save these corks because cork toppers from wine and whatnot. And this is just so you know, we're not heavy drinkers. This is just some people will give us their corks, but also we have had these collected through many years, probably about 20 years or so in there. So what we do is we save them because sometimes I will use these as little placeholders when I have people over for different holidays, and I will stick something in the cork with some kind of decorative name tag or whatnot, and it just sometimes they're bases to a faux tree I might make for a table or whatnot. It's just all kinds of cool projects that you can make with the corks. I've even put them in pumpkins and take the cheapy topper off, and I'll put that as the stem of it to make it look more realistic. So those really come in handy. If you have access to corks, save them. And then here, this was a free thing we had found. These little, they look like the old-fashioned large colored, which I don't do anymore. I do the white, but these were cool light bulbs. But these, I think, are intended to be ornaments, but they're cool little pieces. But I'm not sure, actually. No, I think you can actually use them as lights. But I just gathered them here on the tray on this beautiful piece, this beautiful green glass tray, and the green glasses I had found at a flea market. I think I paid $15 for this whole set, but they're vintage and they're gorgeous. So I have it out various seasons. So that's out there. Just a small touch on the bar here. Also from the townwide tag sale from that woman, we had a friend of mine, she had this plastic red bin that she put all the stuff in there for me. I saved that because now we're having a Christmas party. Someone was getting rid of this for free, you know, those Connect 4 yard games. So we saved that for when the kids are here for the party, summer parties, whatnot. So I'm going to leave this here as an activity for the kids, throw in some coloring books and whatnot for the kiddos. And now it's a little activity spot for them. Something to keep in mind if you have a lot of kids that you want to entertain. And this is a cute little tree I'd gotten from my aunt. And this beautiful little area. These lamps on these tables are going to change. So I'm just showing you now with those lamps, but they will be changing. We did buy them and we loved them, but they're a little small for this and we wanted a different look. And I'm going to show you in a second what we found online for $15 for the pair. It's unbelievable. So anyway, so that was from the Dollar Tree. Looks like an ornament. It's a really cool find you can find with a candle in. And actually the candle smells good. I'm not a fan of burning candles that may or may not be toxic. They won't be soy-based. They won't be healthier ones. But it's a cool find. And I liked it for the decoration. The red pillow covers we just bought recently from Amazon. I can try to put as many links as I can find. And we had some greenery, candles and ornament balls. This little area here with those red ornament balls thanks to my friend, and some pine cones and fillers that we had. And this little piece was in a box here with faux greenery and berries. This came as a whole piece, I want to say $5 from the Dollar Tree. We bought last year, I believe. So that was great for the center, and again goes with our red and green theme. A red plaid blanket that we had on hand. Those were from the Dollar Tree this year, these ornament balls. I love that it had the red and green balls in there. I considered for a while, was kind of messing around with it. I didn't know if I wanted to add things in between, like pine cones or bells. I may still do that down the road, but right now I'm kind of liking that it is. And we made that last year as a craft. If you remember from our Christmas videos where we did crafts, we made this with the bells from the Dollar Tree and some wire, heavy wire and some green yarn. And we made a little handheld bell. It's really cute. So I'm really excited about these folks. These are huge. These lamps are, I don't know if it shows on the video, but these are really huge. They're really heavy. They're really high quality. The look of them is not my particular look, so I'm going to do what I've done with the lamps upstairs, if you remember from a video many months ago. I'm going to do that, and even like the balls on the top here, the stoppers here, I'm going to paint those similar to the lamp, but we're going to do a paint job. These are in perfect condition, but they are somewhat yellowed. It just happens over time. I think they just age, but they're in perfect condition, so I may actually paint these to go with the lamps better. And these lamps are going to replace those other lamps I just showed you near our sofa on the end tables. So they're much larger, and I think they're going to be really beautiful. And this table that they're on was also something Paul, along with that Connect 4 game, Paul had found, and they were giving it for free. We love when people get rid of things. Keep your eyes out, folks. Do not be embarrassed. This is a time where things are very expensive and you can't always buy. Don't mind, we have some things ready to go for our decor, so they're kind of under the table, but they have these really nice legs. Paul's going to strengthen it a bit because it's slightly rickety, and we might sand it down because there's some heaviness of maybe polyurethane backed up or whatnot. We want to kind of clean it up a little bit, but that'll be very helpful for gatherings, especially our Christmas gathering coming. But I just wanted to show you that's really, really neat. So hopefully you can see it well enough. We had an extra strip of fairy lights that we did purchase from Amazon. We have it on a little tree here. I'm not sure if you can see the whole setup. It is quite dark on here. We have our faux electric fireplace on. It just gives it a little bit of a charming, homey feel here. But you can have different settings on these, and these particular ones, right now we have it where it moves slightly. It's not flickering the whole time, but I really like it. It's on more of a warmer light. I'm not sure if you can tell that on here, but it's also slightly more dim, and you can make it brighter. You can have it flickering. You can have it just sitting still, but that's what we did for now. And this is with the light on, so you can maybe see it a little bit more. But I really love how this whole area turned out. Our new table. Beautiful.
So this is a mix, if you can see the color, it's a black and green together, maybe a little white in there, and it's making kind of a cool gray. So we're going to use this on top of the primer now. This will act as our base, our foundation. And I will add colors to it as we go. So on these lamps, Paul had sanded them lightly with a very thin, very fine sandpaper, and he also primed with a good bonding primer. So a Valspar binding primer. So that really helps because this was already a little on the shiny side and also had a color already. So we just wanted to get it to bond to it so it would stay. And also that light sanding helps a lot. So I'm using a white wax paint and a nice melted chocolate craft paint and classic caramel, which basically was very little left in it. And I mixed it to get like a little tan caramelly color. I still want to leave some white on the side because I'm going to use that as well, the white wax. So I'm just going to basically layer with the other. I know it's going to be crazy right now, but it's all going to be mixed together and make sense. It's all to give a little bit of a pottery look. Yes, I know it was already a tan, but you want to layer these colors and have it mixed together. And also it changes up the gray slightly. Just kind of keep playing with colors till you decide, oh, that's the one. But I want it to be somewhat muted down. You don't want it a dark gray because you want it to look like pottery. Like it just came out of a pottery studio. So I'm laying it on thick on certain areas. I'm mixing it in and making it a little lighter in other. So again, we want it to seem like a pottery that just came through before being glazed. Maybe a little glaze to it, but I want it to look authentically pottery. And I don't want it a dark, shiny gray. I want to mute it down a bit. And I'm not done. This is just another stage, another step. Okay, so here we have that white wax, a little bit of the gray that I had, and I mixed it together. And I used, and then I used baking soda to mix it together to get like a certain type of mixture to make it seem a little bit more like, you know, more pottery, more
Texture.
yeah, more of that texture. And I'm just layering it over the other paint. We're just trying to get different dimensions. I'm not being very particular. I might be heavier in some parts, in some spots on the lamp, and then some not as much. Just because we want it to look like a natural pottery that's a little bit mismatched. So this is regular black paint, and I'm mixing it with sand. We usually collect sand on our travels from beaches we go to and whatnot. And I'm just mixing it together to give it a rough look and feel. Give it a little bit of texture. And again, wanting a really cool, authentic pottery look and feel. It gets really thick, that's okay. And we're going to, while it's still wet, going to mix this on there, paint it on rather. It's going to feel rough going on. And I have enough where if I start to run out, I can mix it again. And at this point, after this is done, we're going to let this dry probably overnight as we're into the evening right now. This will give it that really nice gritty look and feel. And as I'm doing this, every now and then, what I love about this, which is the whole point, as I'm doing this, as you're scraping it, some of that tan comes through underneath, which is why you do this slightly wet.
So it's going to add to that authentic feel. So I love the look of this, but I just want to add this tube. I went back to the Dollar Tree and grabbed this little tube for $1.75 of red ornaments. It just seemed too empty in between, so I just want to add some in between. Wanted to give it a little filler space. There's still spaces in between, but I think it fills it much better. So now it's time to change out these lamps. I'm not getting rid of them, I'm just changing it up down here. It just seems maybe something a little more clunky. So with these lamps, it's been overnight, and I'm just getting the real loose sand and whatnot. Trying to get it where it's not real flaky. It's already dried and cured. We just have some loose sand I just want to brush off. Just gonna feel with my hands to make sure it turned out okay. And we're ready to go. So these are the lamps that we had gotten off Facebook Marketplace for $15 for the pair. We had just redone them. Here's the problem. This shade is very yellowy inside, and I really just can't, I don't have the time this week. So I put them on for now so we can see how it all looks. But also the other problem is, if you can tell on camera here, I'm gonna try to back up. These are very, very large lamps. Also right now it's taking my view away from our village. I really don't want that. But also just in general, for this particular size room as well, even though it seems to match the lamps, they're really quite large. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them for now, because it's just not something I want to spend money on right now. But also, for sure, what I can do though, however, at home is fix the inside. I definitely have to clean them a bit and maybe steam clean the outside, but inside I want to paint around the inside rim, inside the whole part of the shade, just because it is very, very yellowed. Here's the other one. So that's something we're going to work on later. That's just not something we have the time allotted for, but just so you get the idea, but they are quite large. So I wanted to make these little wreaths for the poles, as I had talked about. So I had gotten this garland. It's just a real flimsy garland from Dollar Tree, but it's very, very long. So with some wire cutters, I cut a certain size, and I basically, because it's wire, like a tough wire, I cut it just slightly longer than I wanted so I can kind of loop them together. And on that part, I'm going to, these were also from the Dollar Tree, I'm going to take them and put it as a bow on the wreath, just so you can see. Now we have little mini wreaths that we had to make because we couldn't find them at little mini wreaths already. I know I've seen them before, but I'm not seeing them now. So there we have a little mini wreath cut from a long cheapy garland. I had gotten this garland a few years ago at Dollar Tree. I haven't seen it, but every Dollar Tree is different. But I had cut it a little longer so I could take that wire and loop it around and kind of pinch them together, and it's pretty sturdy. And then these little bows were found at Dollar Tree for $1.75 for this multi-pack. So I'm just going to do that and hang them. And I'm going to decide how I'm going to hang them in a little bit, but I'm going to work on putting 4 of these on the poles in the village. So I made a circle how I wanted it to be, and I have this kind of going, so I have it a little longer, and I'm just kind of wrapping that, and then I know where I kind of wrapped it here, I'm going to cut. So I don't really have an exact size, I'm just letting you know. I'm going to make sure that these look about the same, okay? And I'm going to use that as my guide for the next 3. Okay, so now I have my 3. I'm going to take the bows off now so it'll help it go smoother. So make that circle. And the great thing about a wired thing is you can work it out, so if it's a little wonky you can fix it. And we want like almost like a V at the top, and I'm going to just twist them around in each side so you get a nice circle wreath. And then where I was twisting it, or wherever you think, honestly, wherever you think is a good spot for the bow, put your bow. And then just twist and tuck. And then you have another wreath. Okay, so I'm going to take this black twisty tie and I'm just going to kind of twist it slightly on the top a couple times, and then I'm going to go around the pole. So here are the wreaths on the poles here in the front and in the back. And we're just going to light them up so you can see how it all looks as part of the town. And the great thing about these are they hide the wires on the poles that we wound around for the fairy lights. And it also, like in every town, they usually hang a wreath on the pole, so it just gives it that extra special touch. Just goes to show you that even if you can't find what you're looking for, like these wreaths we just couldn't find. I know at one time I've seen mini wreaths around and we just didn't have the time before this video to keep searching everywhere, and I didn't want to spend a lot on these. You can make them. This could not have been any more easy. The easiest way, even more than this, would have been to just find them and buy them. But this is a great inexpensive way, super easy craft, my level craft that you could put together. I'm not lighting up the whole village again, but I just wanted you to see with how it's all lit up on the street lights. And I did have to adjust some of my people in the village, but now it kind of looks, I think it honestly sometimes works out better when something doesn't work out. But this guy, this little guy with his carriage and his horse, he's going down the road, which makes more sense. And we added the people shopping. It just makes it kind of come together. Sometimes don't get discouraged when you have a plan and it's not quite working out. Sometimes it works out even better the next time.